Hey Matt,
Hey, how are you?
good, good. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Hey Anthony, how you doing, brother?
Not too bad. How about you, Wayne?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I have no complaints. Plus, if I did, who would listen?
I would.
Hey, I appreciate that. I really do. Yes, sir. Glad you guys were able to join us. I hope you have a question or three that you might want to ask and gain some insight on. B, what's happening, brother? B, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, man. It's
Okay.
good.
Good, good, good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Good. Excellent.
Trying to get
Let's
all
see.
my stuff organized.
Yeah, we have about 4 minutes and then we'll get started.
Okay. Question is, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Every day is a little bit better, getting a little bit stronger. Hey, I'm privileged to be here, being able to participate.
Found somebody that is be blessed.
Yes, sir. Every day, every day. Man, it's a beautiful day outside. Now, of course, I haven't been out the house yet, so I don't know how hot it is outside. For those of you who are out there getting around.
It's about as hot as you would expect in early August, Oklahoma.
Okay, good. Good. Excellent.
I mean, we're not into the high hundreds yet, but it's definitely
Yeah.
getting
He said the high hundreds.
there.
Oh, Nicole Brennan, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Nicole.
Hey, hold on.
Not, not much.
I got a driver while I'm on Zoom.
Oh, excellent.
You see that way he cut his locks off?
Hey, that's why we have kids. You know, we have a couple minutes before we get started, and I'll probably
Recording in progress.
initially, I will be multitasking.
All right. You got feedback, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, Okay. So I'll be in the process of starting the meeting and admitting individuals to the meeting as we go.
I got to do that tonight. But
Yeah.
And Smiley, how about this one for Victor? Yeah, it's similar thoughts for both Scotty Show.
Okay. All right, one more minute and we'll get started. You know, I'm kind of excited. This is the first time we've held a format like this. I'm very curious and excited to see how it unfolds and everyone's take from it. Let's see. All right, hold on real quick. I'm sorry, someone lost the Zoom link. Let me send it to them. Okay, that's done. All right. Well, guess what, folks? It's 3 o'clock, so let's go ahead and get started. You know, like I said, I am very, very curious to see how this unfolds, and I'm excited at the same time because it's a format that we haven't tried before. And the way that it's going to, the format for today, it's an open dialogue, open question. There are no questions you cannot ask. If there's anything you're curious about, anything you like feedback on, anything that you would love some direction on, some guidance on, whether it's basketball related, on the court, off the court, whether it's life related, ask the question. And then as a group, we'll provide responses for each one of you. And we'll do our best to answer the question for you. If you have a question, use the emoji, raise your hand. We will come to you so you can ask your question, or you can send it to me in the form of a chat, and then we'll ask it for you. Okay. TC is monitoring the chats, and she will notify me when we have a question, and she will ask the question for the individual. Now, before we get started, I really have no words, to be honest with you, to introduce our special guest. I'm gonna use air quotes, special guest for today's discussion. This man right here is he's an NCAA tournament official. He's also the founder and director of Genesis Basketball Officiating Academy, along with Peak Performance Officiating Cohort, which some of our members are participating in. And more importantly, to be honest with you, he's a good guy. He's a good man. He's my friend. He's my confidant. He and I, we get together, we hook it up, we chop it up. We have hour-long conversations about what we love, the things that we love to do, and our outlook on not just officiating, but life itself. And so I would love to introduce our special guest for today, which is Mr. Brian Garland. Brother, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that warm introduction. It's just funny. It's just funny because we talk all the time for you to sound so formal. I was like, who are you talking about?
Hey,
Who
we
am I talking
automatically
about?
fall into that.
Nah, it's all good.
Yes. Hey, I'm excited. I'm really excited.
I I ain't gonna change your format, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if y'all got the questions for me, don't try to put it in no darn chat. I'm old school. I'm one of them old school. If you got something to say, you better say it to my face. Don't be saying, don't be running nothing through TC for you got to ask me a question. Let's go. What you
Let's go.
got?
That's right. Ask the question. We have 60 minutes to work with today, so we'll do our best to get to every question that is asked or posed. And if for some reason we run out of time, I will get answers for you and get them back to you. Before we open it up to the group, I'm gonna start off with a question from Blockham Burns, who's not able to be with us today because she's in the midst of traveling. So she sent me a question to ask on her behalf. And the question is this, okay. Well, it might help if I can find the question. That might
That would help.
Yeah, that just might help. Come on. All right. Her question is this, and Brian, she's posing this to you and to the group. She says, as a referee, what advice would you give yourself when you first started knowing what you know now?
That's to me.
Yes.
It's real simple. I'd have a plan.
And walk everybody through what that means.
Organization is what you do before you do a thing, so that when you do it, it's not all messed up. And so I would have a plan. Like what happens, unfortunately, is, hey, I like basketball. Oh, you like basketball? Why don't you try refereeing and make a couple dollars? Start out that way. And then now I'm into the game and I'm doing what I'm doing. But why are you doing it? Like you still have to get to the why. Like, what's the plan? And so what I can tell you, and it's facts, coaching facts, is people don't have a plan. They don't have a strategy. And so if I were to tell the things that I do now, the conversations that I have with people is all geared towards, yo, before you start a thing, what is your plan? Like, again, I'm probably going to be beating the horse and saying this round and round, but like I talk about on the podcast, we got Inside Genesis. Like, what's your term? You got to understand it's going to take time, energy, relationships, money. Like, what are you trying to do with what you do? So I would say to my younger self, have a plan, have a strategy to what it is you're doing, which is in this case officiating. Period.
Nice. Does that make sense to everyone? Anyone have
And
any
if y'all,
questions about that?
or if you need me to elaborate, you can ask that too. Because let me say this, Wayne. Because it's not what I say, but it's why are you saying it? And so, okay, I'm gonna give bars, I'm gonna give nuggets. It's gonna sound good. Can you see me, by the way? Because I don't know if that's from. Okay. I don't. So I'm gonna say it. It's gonna sound good. It's gonna be a sound bite. It's gonna tickle your ear, and that's all good. And so we walk away from conversations with our ears tickled and feeling all, gassed up and geeked up emotionally. Ooh, that sounded good. But did you understand what that meant? Like, you need to get the mindset. Like, what's the why behind the what? This is what I'm saying, but why are you saying it?
Right.
And so that's just for anybody in general, in terms of any question that you have or any question that you don't have based upon what someone is giving you. So we do it all the time in basketball officiating.
Yes.
But that's a different conversation.
That is true. That is very true. Yes. Did anyone want to follow up on that question? That's good stuff.
You better ask the question.
This is Nicole. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Nicole.
I would also add to that, make sure you do your homework on is helping you and assisting you and you're trying to learn from, because some people pretend or act like they really know what they're talking about, but once you figure things out, that person really don't know no more than what you do. I would say also do your due diligence on finding a mentor and somebody to help along.
Correct. And Nicole saying, do your homework. Do your homework, do your due diligence. And that ties right into preparation. You know, the difference between, you know, it's interesting because, you know, B and I had this conversation a couple of days ago, and we're at the point now where, you know, the saying used to be that officiating is an avocation, correct? But once you transition from high school to college officiating, it doesn't matter the level of college officiating. Once you transition from high school to college officiating, now it becomes a job. It is a career, and we should have a career-oriented mindset when we approach it. And the difference between professionals and amateurs is that amateurs spend the bulk of their time performing. They want to get on the floor and work, right? Get on the floor and just work games. Professionals spend the bulk of their time preparing to perform. So they put the preparation in prior to stepping on the floor. So they can step out there and then they can administer, or they can put in action the items that they've actually worked on, practiced, planned, prepared for, so that the work product is at a much higher, and here's the key, a consistent level versus those who just get on the floor and are just whistleblowers, just blowing a whistle. Huge difference. All right. Any other follow-ups to that question? Good question. Good response, Nicole. Before I open up to the group, I have another question from Isis Lane. She's not able to join us today, but she posed a question to Brian. And she says, here's the question, B. She says, when you're watching a play developed that has the potential to end with a lot of contact, what specific things do you start looking at and looking for?
So I have a play that is potentially going to end based upon what I'm looking at are projecting in a lot of contact.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm just looking to see if the contact is, first off, is it illegal? You know, just because I have violent contact doesn't mean that plays are illegal. And so I'm gonna start with the foundation, which is, you know, is the contact incidental or is the contact illegal? You know, I think we have to we have to remove sometimes the word violent or the how how violent the contact may be between players. You got fast players. They're in the gym, they work out. But you're going to have some players that are just hard contact. I mean, you take a player who's standing there and they jump vertically, right, within their vertical plane. So now they can establish verticality, and you have an airborne shooter who goes airborne, right? They're there prior to, you know, all the principles are there, so they're legal. They get airborne verticality, and they're standing there, and they're just jumping in the air, and then you have opposite player runs into them. That could result in bam. That's violent contact.
Right.
You know, where the offense can go real in one way, but the defense just be standing there, absorbing the contact. So again, it's all rules. Like, you have to know what the rules are. You have to know your guarding rule, your incidental contact rule, and your verticality rule. Like, you have got to know those. So what I'm looking for to answer your question is a violation of the rules as they are written based upon guarding, incidental contact, and verticality without the context of the severity of the contact. Make sense what I'm saying?
It does. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes, sir. What do you guys think? Any follow-up to that question? Any other comments? Oh, B, this is an easy group, man.
I have hey, this is Mickey. I have a question.
Hey, Mickey.
Hey there. So following up on what Brian just shared about knowing the rules, and all of the facets and that come into that, do you have any words of wisdom about how in the heat of the moment we can maintain our blood pressure, confidence, so that we can ensure that we're delivering the right rule at the right time for the right play.
Yeah, it's all about you know, I have a saying that, you know, calmness produces composure. And then if I'm composed, I'm going to have clarity. When I'm talking about clarity, I'm thinking about mental clarity, right? To have mental clarity, to be able to get to Mickey. How you doing, Mickey, by the way? To get to what the rule is, what the rule says, and to be able to adjudicate the play. Watch this, Mickey, without emotion.
Come on.
Because everything you talked about involved an emotion without feeling a particular way. So, you know, to be able to self-regulate yourself to the point where at all times within the game, whether it be through, I use breathing techniques. I calm myself down all the time. You know, I'm not going to get into the autonomic nervous system fighter. I mean, I'm going to get all into that, but I just want to keep it as simple as possible and just say that it's about being able to self-regulate yourself through whatever means to be able to at all times throughout the game to be calm so that you can maintain your composure. And if I can be composed, then I can have clarity. Always processing information about what's going on. And if I can have clarity, I'll stay connected to the game, I'll stay connected to my crew, and I'll stay connected to the situation that's before me. So to answer your question, in one sentence, I'm going to probably say you have to figure out a way to, at all times, keep yourself composed. And usually that will involve some type of, in basketball officiating, again, I've just many ways you can do it, but I can tell you the one that I have found that works in basketball is breathing, because the brain can't calm the brain down. So we have all these thoughts going through our head, right? Right? Which again, there's anxiety is real, a nervousness is real, but that is created by my interpretation of the situation. Why you getting me started? So in order to change my interpretation of the situation, I've got to be able to change how in order to change my emotion, I've got to be able to change the interpretation of what it is I'm looking at, to not create a stressful one, but to be like, yo, I'm good. I'm calm. I'm composed. I have clarity of thought, which is what I really want to get to at all times throughout the body of the game. And then, man, I'm just going to officiate the play. Like, it's just a play. So, you know, to be able to officiate and adjudicate plays without emotion is the key to this thing. That's the key. This is the mental toughness piece. This is the resiliency piece. How do you do that? Well, you know, again, Wayne, the multiple classes that I teach and others that I know, a few others that I know that teach similar things about how to, again, get yourself in a state where you are able to, quote unquote, have peak performance at all times during the game.
Come on.
To answer your question, Mickey?
Yes, sir. Yeah, just because we tend to do all the prep work, do all the rules, interpretations, and we know them well sitting in our living room or on a Zoom when we're bantering back and forth. But once the lights come on, the whistles start blowing, the coaches start talking, and our blood pressure rises. That's where we're trying to get to a better expectation, I guess, or better prep work for that moment that we know is coming this season.
Well, okay. So why are you laughing, Wayne?
I know where you're going.
So the prep work is required, right? And so that's good. And so, Mickey, let me ask you a question. When you do that, what are you preparing?
I'm preparing my ultimate goal is to know the rule.
Okay.
So that's my foundation.
Okay. I got to pull. You're gonna make me work for this one, Mickey. Okay. So in studying the rule, are you studying the rule to apply it emotionally, physically, or mentally?
I would have to say for me, it's mentally
Okay,
because
stop right,
it's very
stop right.
difficult for the other two.
There you go. Okay, so my ability to be able to calm myself down so that I can be composed allows me to get to the point of clarity of thought to get to the rule. So I appreciate the follow-up statement because you're actually making me go back and prove my point in a different way about the importance of, being, so study the rules because you got to know it. So like I was the air traffic controller for 28 years, right? So I know what the FAA laws were keeping airplanes separated, which is, hey, you cannot have two airplanes within 1,000 feet and 3 miles. I know the rule, right? Right? That governs all my actions, right? But if something happens and all these planes show up, use metaphorically, and now I'm so rattled that I forget what the FAA law says. That if I violate it, it sends me to jail potentially if I have two airplanes hit, right? If I can't get to what I've known and studied, then it was my emotions that, no pun intended, hijacked me to be able to get to processing what I do. And that happens all the time in officiating. So again, I call it an atypical situation system, but really it's just throughout the body of the game. Like, in order, again, I'm gonna go back, in order to have peak performance, we've got to be able to, and here's why I appreciate your question, and we're staying on this point, Mickey, is because what we are talking about is what separates officials. It holds officials back. It prevents officials from being all that they can be, which is the ability or inability to be able to garner those emotions and put them where they need to be, or I shouldn't say garner them, but I'm going to say self-regulate so that you can get them to the point where, you know what, I'm just doing what I got to do. We don't give coaches technical fouls because of how we feel. We give coaches technical fouls because of how we feel.
Right.
I'm going to leave that right there.
Hey, B, I have a follow-up question to that. When in your career did you start doing that comfortably? At what point in your career did you start doing that comfortably?
Oh, that's easy. When I got my tail sent home from the NCAA tournament for not being able to know the rule. Oh, that's easy.
There you go.
Yeah, in some ways, pain, right?
Ooh,
Pain and failure, they'll drive you to a point of becoming comfortable with doing something.
yes.
You don't like taking your medicine? Okay, watch this. Watch what happens.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, I need to take my medicine. Okay, you misapplied, nothing happened in the easy game. You misapplied the rule. That was painful. Guess what? Let me take my tail back, open the book, study the rule, and get it. Oh, you know the rule, but you couldn't apply it in the atypical situation because your emotions hijacked you. Oh, get that under control. Again, Brian Garland is Brian Garland's only problem.
Mm.
But Brian Garland is also Brian Garland's only solution.
Come on.
So it's about conversation the other day. I'm not competing with any other official. The greatest competition that I ever had will be with myself.
Yes, sir.
And we don't talk about that. And if I can go just a little bit, another level lower, if I can dig down into a little bit, Mickey, the things that you ask and the question that you ask, about the self-regulation of about how do I get to this point? I'm going to say the reason why most of us can't get there is because we don't know ourselves. So Wayne, going back to your question, I thought I knew myself. Self-awareness, the stats bear it out. 85% of people who think that they're self-aware are not self-aware. Right? All of us have gaps in our games, right? I can't remember the amount of accidents that are attributed to blind spots, but all of us have blind spots.
Yes.
In our personalities, in our games, in everything that we do. So I don't have time to be worrying about what you doing, Wayne doing, or now I got to worry about if I can just focus in on me, I got this thing lit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's wonderful. You know, it's kind of interesting because you're right. Pain will learn you.
Phew.
I'm gonna use myself as an example. My family, they stay on me about taking my pain pills. I am not very good at taking medication for whatever
Mm,
for whatever reason. But when that pain kicks in, yes, that prompts you like, you know what? I should have been proactive. I should have listened. I should have taken my medication. I should have prepared to eliminate that pain that I'm going through right now.
yeah,
And
yeah,
here's an inside joke to my family. 32 staples in my knee taught me to listen.
shoot,
Come on. Now you can either listen, prepare, and be prepared, or like I said, life and pain will learn you. And be
man, please,
for each and every one of us, we all have our individual blind spots. It is different for everyone.
different for everybody.
Everyone.
Yep,
You need to develop your own. That's why it's self-awareness. You need to develop your own self-awareness to uncover what those blind spots may be. Some of them you can work on in advance to prepare yourself for them. Some of them are uncovered through experiences,
yeah.
and then you learn.
So if I can, to finish up with your question, Wayne, you said when did it start? It started when I started, for lack of better words, competing where it counted at.
Come
And
on.
for me, competing where it counted at is just redirecting all those competitive energies that I may have had, right? From, watch this here, external achievements to internal growth.
Mm,
Let me say it again. So let me say, because that was pretty good, Wayne.
right.
So when I went from trying to get external, all the energies went from external achievements, right? Because we want to have the appearance like we got it all together.
Come on.
Oh, maybe I'm sorry, just me, not y'all, right? We want to have the appearance like we got it all together. So from external, right, all this energy is directed toward how am I looking? Inside joke. I see Corey on here. Is my chop signal right? Am I doing all the things I got to do so that I can look like I got it going on, right?
Right.
Right. Instead of what? Instead of the internal growth. So the self-awareness thing is all about is about the internal growth. So focusing in on becoming better, man. Channeling those energies for your personal growth. And let me say this. The other thing is, yeah, no, it's not the other thing. It's the main thing. And when I'm talking about that is, I don't care whether it's okay. Let me say it this way, because this is how we teach it. When you start working on and developing you, right? When you start working on and developing you, watch this. You become a better co-worker,
Come
a
on.
better auntie, uncle, father, mother, cousin, brother, sister, and a referee.
Mm,
But it all starts with working on you first. See, we try to work on the basketball while neglecting us. That's what
right.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying when I'm saying the external. Work on the internal and all those external things, all those avatars that we have, right? What am I talking about? Again, I have an uncle avatar. I've got a basketball referee avatar. I got a pop avatar. I got all these different avatars, right? The avatar that really matters in all of this thing is the avatar of I am.
Come on.
I am. I am what? I am. You figure it out. That's to figure it out who that is. When you get that avatar right, all the other avatars line up.
Excellent. That is excellent.
They quiet. Wayne, not Wayne. Now I do the flight assessment, so I'm a flight attendant.
Right.
So I need some interaction. Somebody got to talk to me.
Somebody.
Besides Mickey and Nicole. Somebody got to talk to me. A closed mouth don't get fed. Oh, y'all want to be to entertain y'all? Is that what y'all wanted? Did y'all want entertainment?
Brian,
Let me get up. Hold on, no, hold on. I'm gonna tell a joke. I'm gonna get up and start dancing. I'm gonna start doing something.
Go ahead,
Listen,
Pat.
Brian,
listen. Hold on. I'm gonna get to you, but let me say this. This is important. Wayne, they got me started now.
Yes.
Conversations that we are having right now form the foundation of everything that we do.
Come on.
Our ability to get things done, become better, whatever it is you want to do, are all centered around the quality of your conversations. So if you want to change something about whatever it is you want to do, then change the quality of your conversations. But that's a two-way street. You looking for entertainment? Y'all click off Zoom and turn on YouTube. They got me started, Wayne. Go on IG and figure out what they talking about.
Right.
If you can't say amen, say ouch.
Amen.
Okay, thank you. As long as you said amen. Corey, can I get an amen? I got my homeboy on here for backup.
Amen.
Okay, all right, good.
Amen.
amen.
Okay, all right, okay. I just want to make sure. Because see, listen, y'all, but this is the part of the problem.
Come on.
Wayne set the call up for y'all. I mean, I ain't chopped liver. I got a lot that I can help y'all with through conversation, through information, because it's information and conversation that change the situation. But y'all sitting back want to be entertained. Open your mouth and ask the question. I don't care what it is. Besides
Brian.
everybody. Okay, go ahead. What's the question? Come
Brian,
on.
this is Faye.
Hey,
and
Faye, how you doing?
good. I don't know if you can give any insight, but I'm gonna ask maybe
Ask the
off the wall.
question. Ask the question, girl. Come on. Y'all wasting time. TikTok, close the clock.
So my question is, I was at several camps this year, and
Okay.
you know, black don't crack. However, my hair color is starting to become a lot of salt and pepper, and
Okay.
a lot of individuals were diving into the question of age.
Right.
And I'm still younger than you, but they always say age doesn't matter. Age doesn't matter.
It don't.
But when individuals are inquiring about it, it appears that it is.
Okay. All right.
And so I know a lot of females are like, they want to dye hair, and I'm like, I'm all natural. Like, you gonna see it.
Okay.
So why is it that there is a conversation of like age matters, but the higher ups supposedly says that it doesn't? But it appears, even with some of the individuals that are hired or moving in or up, are younger.
Oh, we got real. See, first
real.
off, I appreciate the real question. That's what I'm talking about. Now, let me unpack. Asking me one question at a time, because I had about 4 or 5 questions in there. So, so give me one question at a time, Faye. Because you talked about hair, you talked about age, you talked about the shiny new things. So you got to narrow me down with a question now.
Okay. Why is it that officials tend to believe that like age matters?
Okay.
That's the first one.
Okay. Let me answer that. The first thing I'm going to ask you about that is, where's your source of information? Okay. So where's your source of information? And so I'm just going to give you a couple of things. I'm going to give you some things to think about. Okay. Along those lines. I just heard a story today, and I'm going to tell it. This ain't got nothing to do with this, but I'm going to tell it about a person, a gentleman, who does whatever, another sport that got picked up and they're 50 plus years old, and the young little hot shot didn't. So let me stick an asterisk right there and let me say this. Your question's legitimate, but what I liked at the end of your question says, why does it seem like? And I'm just telling you from what I see, from because I follow patterns. I'm an avid chess player, so I'm really into patterns. At the end of the day, this thing is about money. Okay. And so because it's about money, it can't be about age. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're talking about people's ages, okay, fine. But can you get down to court? Are you in position? Can you call plays? Are you physically fit? Are you doing the things that need to be done? Watch this here, so that we can take your experience in life and hopefully your expertise. Let me stick a pin right there because I'm gonna come back to that. And you come in already ready to contribute and help the product, which is women's college basketball, continue to grow and evolve. So how do you, not you, say, but the proverbial you, help us accomplish the mission of continuing to grow our game? So I'm going to leave it right there. So what I'm telling you is, I don't believe, based upon what I see and know, that age has anything to do with whether or not somebody's going to get an opportunity or not. Okay? That's just Brian Garland's opinion. All right, what's your next question?
Okay. Well, my next question is, because of where I live, like I swing west, I swing east.
Location, okay, come on.
Okay. And it appears to where my location is at, that individuals, assigners, are picking up younger individuals rather than older individuals with that experience, and that
okay,
even have filled in but are not on the roster. And so it's
okay,
mind-boggling to me, like,
okay.
like there, it just seems like they always talk about communication process, do this, do that, but it seems like there is no like process.
Oh, you're right. There is no process. I mean, there is a process, but it's not a public process. Okay, I'm gonna get to your question. I'm gonna give you an example. So I never forget when, quote unquote, I decided to, quote unquote, officiate basketball rather than work a regular 9 to 5. Notice I didn't say go full-time officiating, because there is no such thing as that. So when I made that decision, I never forget, Sally came up to me. I was at Patty's camp. Sally comes up to me and she says, "Hey, what you doing this year?" And I was like, "Well, I'm done with the air traffic control thing, and I'm just gonna do basketball full time." She said, She said, "You know what?" She said, we like, now whoever the proverbial we is, we like that you followed the process." So I was like, what process did I follow? So that's a side subject. In terms of what I want to say is, like, there's a process to everything, but the process, unfortunately, in what we do, it's not published. It's in whoever the coordinator's mind is about what it is they're looking for. Now, to answer your question about the appearance of, quote unquote, a lesser experienced referee coming in and getting an opportunity, is that what I hear you saying?
Yes.
Okay, so I will speak to that question from the aspect of being a former JUCO supervisor, and because I can't, like, everybody's picker is different, and everybody's vision and what they want to do is different. But what I will say is, usually when people are picked up, they meet. I have an analogy that I call the door, the room, and the table. You get into the door because you fulfill a particular need. And so, hey, you know what? We need to have diversity on our staff. Like, everybody wants diversity. Black, white, short, tall, male, black, female, whatever. And so, you got to balance that out, because that's real. Like, again, if somebody paying a whole lot of money, like that's, when I say a whole lot of money, I'm talking about like the game, like it's about, the game is about money. Don't ever forget that. This is a business. Never forget that. Basketball officiating is, Wayne alluded to that in our conversation, it is a business. So whether they happen, whether it doesn't happen, everybody's got their own personal opinions, but again, are their own views on things. But when someone comes in the door, they come in the door because they meet a particular need. Okay. Now, I would say, because your question was kind of personal, I would say for you to
Figure it out.
be able, now I ain't gonna say figure it out, to be able to ask your question specifically. And the question's about you, it's not about nobody else, about how I can, or what do I need to do in order to potentially get on your staff. Again, you can't weave in what you see somebody else doing. But again, it's about being able to sit back, observe, and let me say this, Faye, because I know you well enough to say this. You can referee. So that's not the question. And I think that's your frustration with what it is you see, right? Hello?
Yeah,
Is this
no,
thing
I'm
on?
sorry. It took me a moment to come off mute.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in order to get the answer to that question, I think you're going to be very specific and ask very specific questions to, quote unquote, let's just say next season comes around, right, Faye?
Yes.
I'll tell you right now, between God and country, everybody on this call, hey, before you submit your monies, ask a question. What you got to lose?
My job.
Oh, so you already working for? So you already working for these coordinators?
Well, it's not. Well, it
I tell
was.
you what. We'll talk about it offline.
Okay. Can
All right, okay.
I want to ask one more question.
You can ask all the questions you want. I'm on your time.
Because I don't know where everyone else is at, but I'm assuming probably in the South, at least south of me. With the landscape in which the West is changing and heading east,
Right.
You seem you seem like you don't even want to deal with this question.
Listen, I'm giving you Brian Garland's spin on it. I ain't got no problem doing that. Hey, listen, I done paid a lot for this opinion.
What is any the advice, suggestion in terms of, like, I know next year is a long ways. However,
right,
when I think about what happened this year, like clinics they were sent out in December. What
right.
is your thoughts on, like, expanding or just even moving it, if you're with a coordinator, moving up in different conferences? Like, what is your thoughts on that?
Okay, so I'm gonna go back and say this real quick. I ain't trying to say you or nothing, but I don't know if you listen regularly to our podcast Inside the Genesis. We're on Apple Podcasts and we're on Spotify. I would encourage you to go back, and I don't remember which episode it is, but if I'll get Wayne to hit you up with it. But I start talking about officials just like you, and when I'm talking about just like you, like my whole thing is, and what I do and everything I do is about the officials in the middle, because the officials in the middle are the ones they're hurting, and hurting equals they feel like they're the least, they feel like they're the lost, and they feel like they're left behind. And so, again, I will tell you that I have these conversations all the time, one-on-one, okay, with officials. And now to answer your question, which you specifically asked me, I would say I need more context, okay? And so I would say probably the beginning of November, Excuse me, the beginning of December. If you want to circle back, just hit me up. I don't have a problem with that. I owe you that much, right? You good people, and say, okay, B, remember that question that I asked you? Okay, and then I'll have some questions for you, contextual wise, and it's about developing a strategy. You know what I'm saying? So, Wayne don't even know this. Is that okay, Faye?
Yes, and my apologies. I actually did not know that you had a podcast. So I will give me some time. I will
Wayne
That's
ain't
my
told
fault.
you that.
That's my fault, B.
We got jewels on there. There's some jewels on there. I mean, this is my life's work. I mean, not the podcast, but it's a result of no. But no, you're good. And again, I didn't do a good job of putting it out. But again, if you know, you know. You don't. But now you know. So let's go. So I'll give you that piece. So you got that, and then let's circle back in like December, and have a conversation that I can ask you some specific questions and get some context to be able to help you out. The other thing is, I'll say this when you don't know this, and actually nobody knows this except for Corey. I'm actually in the process of finishing up a book. I'm writing a book on mentor-mentee relationships and the importance of it. We don't have any guidance out here on that, and so hey, I'm using everything that I got, and it's going to be pretty good. So it'll be an ebook.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Good stuff, B. Really good stuff. And I'm looking forward to the book coming out also because you're right. There's very little guidance in that area. Very little.
Let me help you out. We do our research. There's no guidance on it. other than word of mouth. But go ahead.
I had a question about just like your philosophy as an official and as a crew chief, if they're different, if they're the same, or if they tie into each other.
Okay, so the question is about, do I have philosophy? Okay, so answer me again, B, the difference between what now?
Your philosophy as an official, just stepping out of the court and calling plays compared to a crew chief, and how that shapes how you are a crew chief, if that shapes you as a referee.
Let me ask you a question. I hate to answer a question with a question, but I'm philosophical, and I'm I like metaphors. Okay, but I'm going to answer a question with a question and help you because I'm coaching. Like this what I know. So I'm gonna pull the answer. You're going to answer your own question, and then I'll elaborate on it. So, are you a father? Come off mute. You got to hit the thing.
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. So you're a father, right? So are you a husband?
Yes.
Okay. Are you an uncle?
Yeah.
So you got one guy that fills three different roles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're dad, do you have a different mentality as being father? I mean, I'm sorry, husband?
Yeah.
Is that a different mentality? Same person though, right?
Yeah.
So when you're husband, is that a different relationship than being what I say, uncle? Was that the last one I said?
You said dad, yeah. But yes, they're all three are different, yeah.
But it's the same. All three, what's different? All three roles. Right?
Yes.
Right? Okay. Oh, I ain't done. This is good. This is the first time I'm ever teaching this one like this. This is the first time I'm teaching it like this. So we got three different distinct roles, right, B? Right? But your individual core values or your personal core values are still the same. I know you well enough to say that. You're a family man, right? I know. If I say B, give me your four core values. I already know two: faith and family. I already know that. Am I right? No? Yes? You can come off mute. Come on.
I'm not. My name's. I'm not B. Are you talking about Brian?
Yeah. Well, who asked the question?
Tanner Gray.
Oh, Tanner. Okay. Well, Tanner, you answered. Well, Tanner. What? Because it say well Tanner, okay, Tanner. So Tanner, you're all three of those, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So the question that I have for you is, right? Your core values are what? Give me your core values. Just give me 4 core values. Give me 4.
Like just my personal core values. I'd
Yes,
say I'm
yes.
a Christian first, and then
Okay,
family.
God, family. Give me 2 more.
Yeah. And, I like to think myself as professional. I like to be professional.
Professional. Give me 1 more.
Um, confident, I guess.
Okay, confidence. Okay,
Yeah.
so confidence, professionalism, faith, and family, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you are in every single one of those roles I gave you, you exhibit those core values in each, right?
Yes.
All right, good. So we got that established now. So your question was, B, do you differentiate whether you're the crew chief or whether you're not the crew chief, right?
Yeah.
Right? The answer to the question is no. I bring the values, the fundamentals, the foundation to each role, not wavering from that. It's just that when I'm the crew chief, that's why we got the CCA manual that says, hey, okay, referee, you're in charge of these responsibilities, right? You 1, you're in charge of these responsibilities. You 2, you're in charge of these responsibilities. But how I call plays is still the same. How I adjudicate rules is still the same. That's why I think we get messed up at. So what I'm saying is my mentality, right, is the same whether I'm the crew chief or whether I'm the U1 or the U2. But what changes, right, is my responsibility in how I carry and how I got to carry that thing out. Make sense what I'm saying?
Yes, it does.
I went a long way to make a simple point, huh?
Yeah, but it helps.
But you understand what I'm saying, don't you?
Yep, I do.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Really good.
He got me in teach mode.
Come on. Hey, let's see if someone can keep you there.
You ain't got to worry about
Brian,
that.
I've got one.
Okay, come on. I got one.
It's Stephanie. I'm I wanted to ask you, so as your career has progressed, how have your needs as an official changed when it comes to being at home and doing all of your studying and doing things like that? Do you spend as much time on film as you do on your rule book? Do you spend less time than you did as an early official? How does that work out as your career has progressed and you have less time to do those things between games?
I'm gonna go back and say this. This is why, Stephanie, it's about consistency. Balance is about balance is when to, right? So to answer your question, that's why it's important, right? To understand that it's about consistency and not intensity. So consistency over intensity. So one of the best examples of this that I'm talking about was Kobe when he talked about the Mamba mentality and how he separated himself from other players. And he said, while they were working out 1 time a day, he goes, I was getting in 2 and 3 workouts. So that as we got to the season, well, I'm already a season and a half ahead of them. So what I'm telling you is, yes, I mean, when I'm thinking about it, yes, I do have less. I'm not going to spend. Yeah, I do. It is less. I do spend less time. I can't say I spend less time because I'm doing something every day in terms of film work. Again, it's about consistency and not intensity. Like, so that when I get to the season, right, I don't have to get all ramped up. Like I'm already in, like I'm ramping up now to be in season mode by October, which means that, how I do my film, how I'm getting my workouts, how I'm eating, And so, you know, it's about, again, Stephanie, consistency over intensity. So don't think that you got to try to do it all in one weekend. But what I will challenge you on, because mom, right? You got other responsibility besides basketball officiating. So what I'm going to tell you is try to carve you out the same amount of time, right? Consistently every day, whether that's 20 minutes, whether it's 15 minutes or whatever. That will accumulate to a whole lot, as opposed to looking at, I just don't have time. You couldn't have found 15 minutes somewhere and look at a clip. I don't have time. You couldn't have found 5 minutes to look at a little rule here and there throughout every day. I don't have time. No, we have time. We just don't manage our time well. So I got you thinking now on what I want you to think about, Steph, is how can I start off with a little bit of set aside for what I need to set aside, and do that consistently every day, so that at the end of 30 days, when I clock how much time I've put in to the things that I'm blocking time out for, be like, yo, in the month of September, I looked at 4 hours worth of film, as opposed to, oh, I ain't looked at film. Oh, let me try to get 45 minutes every Saturday. No, how about we do 20 minutes every day, 15 minutes every day? Of course, you take Sundays off because that's the Lord's day, but it's never conversation. Unless you're, seventh day, then Saturday be Sabbath, but that's the conversation.
So as a follow-up to that, do you watch full games still, or do you take timestamps?
I don't. I very rarely get to a full game because, all right, cheat code. So, okay. So what I will look at is, for me, look for certain things. Like, it just all depends what type of film study I'm having. All right. Am I running just as fast in the first 5 minutes or in the last 5 minutes that I did in the first 5 minutes? So a lot of times for me, just depending upon what I'm looking for, is I'm looking for the consistency in what I'm doing. Like, do I have the same, pop in the fourth? If not, then you got fatigue either mentally or physically, which we can't afford for that to happen. Am I still running down the court, turning back in the fourth quarter like I did when I first started the game off? Am I still, boom, foul is called? Am I still walking with purpose to my next position? Or am I like, come on, let's get this game over with? So again, it's about consistency and not intensity. So again, for me, film study is different. If I'm looking at plays, and I don't look at plays that I get right, I look at plays that I get wrong. Why did I get that wrong? Why did I get it wrong? Or why did the crew get it wrong? What could I have done to help the crew be in a better position to adjudicate this play? Why didn't I pick up on this play that my partner was out of position? That why didn't I see this coming to be able to be looking here instead of there? So again, multiple things that I can look for in film study. That's why I dare you to try 15 minutes a day. Well, maybe 20. Because 20 minutes goes like that. Look, listen, Stephanie, maybe not you, but somebody on here. Go through your phone and find that person who every day wants to get on your line for 15 minutes and talk about absolutely nothing. And so now, let that person become the catalyst for when the phone rings, you hit bam, do not answer, and go put on a clip and look at that for the same 15 minutes that you, am I being messy, Wayne? Is this okay? For the same 15 minutes you would have, for the same 15 minutes you would have been talking to them and getting nothing out of it, and them just draining the life out of you, and you could have been putting in work on yourself. I'm sorry. I'm off the Corey. Am I okay with that? I'm off the rails now, huh? Corey said, "B
Nah,
stop."
you good?
I'm just being real. Like,
Right.
listen, you you'll be surprised how much excess conversations we have that we really don't need to have. I found out for me that that's where the majority of my time was going to be like, what? Because I look at my phone like, you on the phone with that for 20 minutes? You know what you could have did in 20 minutes? You could have got on the elliptical. You could have got some cardio in. Anyway, all right. Enough of that.
Hey, that's good. That's good. Hey, folks, we have a little bit over a minute left. Time for one more question.
Ain't nobody got nothing to say.
Brian, this is McNutt. And I know this one question. When you ask one question, but you know it's going to take another 30 minutes,
Oh, yeah.
and I hope it does.
Yeah.
But
I appreciate that, Brian.
This is something you hit on a couple topics that hit home to me, and I heard some stuff on here. One, when Faye was talking about, not getting opportunity, other, being your age, questions, stuff like that. That was for me. I questioned that and made me think of my insecurities coming up in this deal. But what I realized as I'm continuing on this, and then you hit another topic that I think they go together, is the communication, and this is a business that we're in, and for us to treat it like a business, we need to learn how to communicate. And I think that's a topic that is not shared enough. And I think that's a topic that I went through 10 years not having the conversations, not knowing what questions to ask of bosses. But I mean, and then you made a comment, well, you got to have that conversation. What's going to happen? Well, I get fired. But this is a business. We need to not be afraid to have those conversations. So can you expound on the importance and as far as how you deal with bosses and communicating and just, I mean, that plays such a huge role in us showing maturity. I mean, if we can't have a conversation with the boss, why are they going to put us in a game? So okay, go.
B, that's good. And so my initial thought is probably if you have a problem talking to your officiating boss, then you probably have a problem talking to your boss that that gives you work. So it doesn't you can't it doesn't. It's the same thing. So a lot of the times we struggle with that, the insecurities piece. Again, man, I go back to and I'll speak to this because I think I know where you're at too in your career. Like you in the middle, like you're not A1 day one, and you're not quote unquote veteran status. Like you're in the middle. Like I need to move. Like it's crowded. I'm aided. I'm frustrated, agitated, constipated. I'm all mated. I'm in the middle. Like I need to be able to get out of this thing. And so your questions are good. And what I'm going to tell you is like you have the right ingredients. You just got to keep fighting. Like you got to believe in that. And so what I'm saying is, a conversation. I told this to one of my group before I forget too, Wayne. Make sure everybody on here, if he's minding your officiating business or not. See, they don't listen to the podcast. Right. If he is going to be talking about some of this stuff tonight, she's got actually a whole program. I'll get Gio Wayne to reach out to you to figure out what we need to do with that.
Right. Make it just
anyway.
Link to the podcast.
Let me think about it. Well, I gotta figure it out. I gotta get with Gio. Okay. But I want to get to something else in B's question, which is B. And I'm saying, this is rhetorical, but I'm telling you, like, I challenge you to go down the self-awareness journey. I challenge you to do it. And I challenge you to do it because what I can tell you is the quote unquote officials that we've worked with, that I'm working with, the vast majority of them have all said the same thing, which is, yo, like, I've gotten better at basketball. Watch this. I've gotten better at putting basketball in its proper perspective in alignment with my values. I've gotten better at managing and regulating my emotions and how I feel when I get slighted or don't get, or I see somebody else get. Like, it's about being able to have contentment, right? I gotta go Bible. You got godliness, but how do I get content? The Bible says, is this okay, Wayne?
Yes, it is.
Okay. The Bible says godliness with contentment is great gain. So what I'm talking about now, what it don't say is the fight to get to contentment. That's a fight. That's a struggle. It's an internal struggle.
Yes.
To get to contentment. So I ain't trying to preach, but can I go here, Wayne? This is all I know. I mean, and I be where you at. Be where you at.
I'm right here. Yeah.
Because
I had to show myself so we could have a conversation. Because I asked a question for someone else, but you're hitting me right here. So here we go. I'm with you.
Because I want to be able to tell you this when I say this, because I know how you believe. Am I right? Am I right? You're on mute. You gotta come off mute.
I didn't want to interrupt. Yes.
Okay.
Conversation.
So because you know that, I'm gonna go straight Bible. I'm gonna bust you upside the head, and we're gonna leave it right there. Either Jesus is Lord of all, or he's not Lord at all. So you gotta make that decision. And so if you make that decision, then you go ahead and walk the talk. Walk the talk. Didn't say it wasn't going to feel good. Didn't say it wasn't going to hurt. But you know what? We opened up talking about pain. Pain is good. Pain's an indicator that something's wrong. Do something about it. Do something about what? Heal the flesh. Do something about it. What? Get these emotions under control. Are you picking up what I'm putting down right now?
Yeah.
Since you asking for a friend, tell your friend I said that. How about that?
Yeah, it's for all of us. That's great.
All right, okay. Cut me off in 2 minutes, Wayne.
Got it.
No, I'm giving you. People say, okay, B, you met it. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm out the middle. But listen, it's a fight. It's still a fight. It's going to be a fight to the end. But guess what? We win.
Amen to that.
Listen, I'm not fighting for victory. I'm fighting from victory. Come on, man. What are we talking about? Oh, we talking about basketball officiating. I'm sorry. We talking about basketball officiating, right? And the fact that they didn't call my name. I ain't getting what I think I deserve based upon the work I put in. Okay, so now what? What you gonna do about it? You gonna give up, cave in, or quit, or you gonna fight? What you gonna do?
I'm gonna fight.
It's called resilience. It's called mental toughness. Wayne, is this okay? Because I done went all the way left up on this thing. Huh? That thing that my feet feel light. That thing done jumped up on my back. Huh?
Absolutely perfect, brother.
That's a great way to start off this Zoom session, Maldives. Thank you.
Yeah. I didn't mean to preach to you, but since you tell your friend that's asked the question that I said all that. How about that?
Great.
Hey, I agree with B Nut, man. This is a perfect avenue for launching this series, man. Hey, B. That's why you're on first. That's why you're up first on this Sunday afternoon. With Brian Garland. That's why you're up first.
Listen. I probably won't get invited back. I mean, it's all good. It's all love. and listen, I say that, man, in all seriousness, because again, I first off, let me say this, Wayne, thank you. And I say that because I know with you, I can be all the way unapologetically me.
Yes, sir.
And so, I ain't gonna preach to you, but I am not ashamed of the gospel.
Yes.
Okay. Because everything, I mean, again, oh, well, how did you get through? Well, this how I got through. Like, it's fighting, and I'm still fighting every day.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? Like these light afflictions.
Come on.
Let me
Come on.
stop. Let me stop. I ain't going because I got it in me. I ain't going. Let me stop because they are. We talk about basketball officiating, but we get lost because of one. Let me give you this, B. Know your core 4 values. Know what they are. Know what they are. Let those be your guide, right? Let those be your guide for how you feel. Let those be your guide. I'm sorry. Let this, if it be your will, let this pass. Nevertheless, not my will, but come on now.
Come on.
He was feeling pain just like us.
This is Nicole, and I'm going to say that me and Brian literally had this conversation last week. And when you stick to your core values, well, y'all know how I am anyway, so but anyways, stick to your core values and be true to yourself and be honest, and then trust me, you're gonna feel a whole lot better. The second guessing and all that is not even going to exist, because you got to be true to yourself at the end of the day.
Got to.
How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? How do you feel when you go to bed? Is all minds clear?
Amen, Nicole.
Okay, we done had church up in this joint. I appreciate that, Wayne.
Hey, B,
Amen.
I appreciate you. And I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join all of us today and just to open yourself up and just be you with everyone else. I have a deep appreciation for that, man. Thank you.
Listen. One last thing, and I gotta go because I gotta take Ange to dinner. This one last thing. B, this McNutt's fault. Let me say this. The reason why the self-awareness journey is so important is because in order for you to be all that you were made to be, it can only come about when you are allowed to do that while being your authentic self. Stop trying to be somebody else, because you're not. That's why you're frustrated. That's why you're agitated. That's why you're irritated. And that's why we constipated, because we can't get the real us out. Let that thing go. You are free to be you, but you got to find out who you are in order for you to be free and be authentically yourself. All right, I'm out. Deacon Wayne, I gotta go ahead and run. Can you go ahead and do the altar call after this?
Yes, sir. Hey, before we break, tell Angie we said hi.
I sure will. We gotta go to Papa Do's because I got another call at 6:30. I'm gonna call Gio to see if you can get on. See what we gotta do to get you on that.
Excellent. Hey,
right.
people, we just experienced overtime with Brian Garland.
Overtime, whatever. Bye. I'm out. I love y'all, man.
Hey, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Love you.
All right,
hey,
bye.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank y'all. Bye.
Hey, got it. Any questions anyone has remaining, shoot them to me. I'll shoot them to Brian. I get responses from everyone, and I will forward them to you. Moving forward, this was our first session of a 5-week session of question and answer. I think this today was outstanding, and we will follow up with next Sunday. Lisa Mattingly will be joining us. The following Sunday, Greg Small will be joining us on the call. The Sunday after that, Blanca Burns will be stepping in and joining us. I'm still waiting to hear back from Penny Davis for that 5th session. So we have a strong lineup, and it's going to continue. So we'll every Sunday, same time, 3 to 4 p.m., be here, be willing to have a discussion and open up to any questions you may have. And once again, any question that went unanswered, shoot it to me and I'll get an answer for you. I promise you. All right, people. Hey, thank you very much. Everyone have a great, great Sunday. It's beautiful out there. Let's enjoy the rest of our week. Thank you all.
Hey, thank you again. Have a good
Thank
one.
you,
Thank you,
Wayne.
Wayne.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thanks, Wayne.